a very good one, to confirm to you that the Bible was an Islamic book right from the origin. And she did a very good work by asking, do I believe in the Bible? Do I believe in the Bible? It is an article of faith. She knew very well that it is an article of faith that every Muslim must believe in the revelation sent down by Allah, which includes the Injil. So she asked, do you believe in the Bible? I said, no, I don't believe in the Bible. She said, how? Then you are not a Muslim. I said, I'm a Muslim because I believe in the Injil. The Bible and the Injil are two different things. The Injil is 100% the words of Allah, but the Bible today is being corrupted and mutilated beyond recognition. If so be it, then I prove to her that the Bible was an Islamic book. I said the best of point to ever give for this is to point out the 5 pillars of Islam in the Bible. If I do so, will she then believe that the Bible was an Islamic book? Starting from Iman, the first pillar of Islam is Iman. Tawheed, the message of all the messengers that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent. 25 were mentioned by name in the Quran. All the messengers, their message was about Tawheed, the oneness of Allah. So starting from the first pillar of Islam, which is Iman. If you read in the book of Chronicles, the first book of Chronicles, chapter number 17, verse 20, it tells us, there is none like you, O God, and there is no God besides you, according to what we have heard with our ears. There is none like you, O Lord, and there is no God beside you, according to all that we have heard with our ears. This is the same thing as La ilaha illallah. Jesus and Ibrahim also said in Hebrew language, Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh Echad. The Lord our God, the Lord is one. The Lord our God, the Lord is one. La ilaha illallah. There is no God but Allah. In fact, if you read in the book of Isaiah, Isaiah chapter 46 verse number 9, God himself speaking. Remember the former tense of old. I am God and there is no other. I am God and there is none like me. This is the same thing the Muslims say. La ilaha illallah. There is no God besides Allah. This is Tawheed. This is the oneness of God even in the Bible. The Bible says God is one. The Quran says so, but the Christians say some other things else. Let's move to the second pillar of Islam, which is Salat. Salat. What is the concept of Salat in the Bible? How did the prophets in the Bible, how did they pray their Salat? It is clearly mentioned in the book of Exodus, chapter 34, verse number 8. Moses worshipped the same way the Muslims worship, by falling upon his face. In the book of Joshua, chapter 7, verse number 6, Joshua worshipped the way the Muslims worship, falling upon their faces. In the book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse number 3, Abraham, the father of all those who had faith, worshipped the same way the Muslims worship. Now let's see how Jesus himself, who is the master, how he worshipped Allah. If you read in the book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse number 39, it tells us that he went a little further and he fell upon his face. This is sujood. This is the concept of worship according to all the prophets of the Bible. They worship Allah by falling on their face, just as in sujood as we do. So when you talk to them, she tells us that these are according to the Old Testament. So Jesus is in the New Testament. So they don't need to follow this way of worship because this is according to the Old Testament. They are now living on the New Testament. So we say, okay, let's check it out. In the book of Matthew, chapter number 5, verse number 17, all the way to verse 22. Jesus himself speaking, that think not that I have come to destroy the laws or the prophets, but to fulfill. For until the heavens and the earth pass away, not an iota or tittle will pass away from the law until all be fulfilled. For whosoever break least of the commandment and teach men to do so will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. And whosoever keep least of the commandment and teach men to do so will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For unless your righteousness exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, in no way shall you enter the kingdom of heaven. Think not that I have come to destroy the laws or the prophets, but to fulfill them. So Jesus is confirming that he is not coming to destroy the Old Testament. but to fulfill the laws of the Old Testament. And he practicalized it by worshiping Allah the same way the prophet of the Old Testament worshipped. So if you really follow Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, you should be worshiping Allah on sujood and not dancing and clapping the way you do. Number 2. Now the third pillar of Islam is fasting. Saum.